Selling your house is one of the most stressful things that you will ever do in your life. It's right up there with death of a loved one, getting divorced, and having a serious illness or injury, and losing your job. So awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun. And selling your house without a strategy is a really good way to drive yourself crazy and just make the whole process miserable. So even though the market has slowed down in Austin, Texas, it is still a hot spot for real estate. We've still got people moving here, but it's not the same crazy environment that it was in 2021. I like to call that the gold rush of 2021. We don't have that going on right now. So if you are thinking about selling your house in Austin, Texas, there's a few things that you need to keep in mind and that you really need to understand about the market today as it is today. Hi, I'm Tiffany Moore. I'm a local realtor and broker right here in Austin, Texas. I help people move here from all over the world. And that's something that you are thinking about doing, or you're thinking about selling your home in Austin. My contact info is below. Feel free to reach out to me, text, DM, email, whatever works for you. I've got your back when you're moving here or when you are selling your home here. So as I mentioned before, the market has changed a lot since the gold rush of 2021. So I had one of my biggest real estate years in 2021, and I think a lot of other agents did. I literally helped people from all over the world move to Austin, from places like Vietnam, Australia, Poland, San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle, New York, Chicago, Boston. Like literally people from all over the world are moving to Austin, Texas. And the market here was crazy. It was kind of like the Wild Wild West. Like people just saw so much opportunity coming to Austin that they're like, man, I want to get in on that. It's cheaper out there. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of potential. Let's go. And so everyone came out here. And it was a really, really good time to be a seller. Sellers were getting like 30 to 40 offers per house. They had to do very little negotiation, if any. If an offer didn't have what they wanted, they just kind of moved to the next one. So selling was kind of easy in 2021. You didn't really have to do any major upgrades or updates to your house. You just had to make sure that there wasn't like underwear on the floor when people were walking out, checking out the house, if you had to do anything at all. That's pretty much it. Just like pick up your dirty underwear. You can kind of leave your toothbrush on the bathroom counter. It's fine. You're still going to get 30 offers per house. Buyers are paying tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars over the list price to buy houses in Austin because there was so much competition. So houses would go on the market on a Thursday. Offers would be due by Sunday or Monday, and that house would be under contract by Sunday or Monday. It was literally taking like 4 days between when a house went live till when it was under contract. It was a huge seller's market. Fast forward to now, we're not quite on the other side of the pendulum. So the pendulum hasn't really swung back into it being a buyer's market, but it is much more friendly to buyers than it was 2 years ago. And here's some of the reasons why the market has cooled off a little bit. Like the biggest reason is interest rates. So interest rates increased from around 3% to around 7%. That is huge. That's like the price of money literally doubled. So that kicked a lot of buyers just out of the market totally. They just cannot afford to buy a house anymore. And it lowered the buying power for a lot of other buyers as well, really for anyone who is financing. So what's happening now in Austin is homes are sitting on the market longer. We have fewer homes on the market because if sellers have their current mortgage at less than 7%, more like 5%, 4%, anything like that, they don't really want to give up that mortgage and go take out another one at 7%. So fewer people are putting their homes on the market. The homes that are on the market are sitting for much, much longer. Our current days on the market in Austin, this is for May of 2023, is 65 days. 65, that's insane. Compared to, I think the official time was 2 weeks when we were in the gold rush of 2021. So we went from 14 days to 65 days. Our active listings, meaning the homes that are currently on the market, has more than doubled. And this is since May of 2022. So kind of around June of 2022 is when the market started slowing down because interest rates went up. So the numbers comparing to May of 2022 are still pretty much in that gold rush time. So comparing it to a year ago, active listings have more than doubled. That means there's more than twice the amount of homes on the market for buyers to choose from. Homes are sitting on the market for longer. And fewer people are actually listing their homes because what are they going to do? Go on and take out a 7% mortgage to sell their house? It's not that attractive of a deal. So what does this really mean as a seller? If you're trying to sell your home in Austin, Texas, and times have changed from the gold rush of 2021, what does it look like now? And what do you need to keep in mind if you're trying to sell your house in Austin today? So a couple of things, it means you really have to put more care into selling your house. You can't just put it up on the MLS, stick a sign on the yard and expect to get 30 to 40 offers. It's just not the way the market is right now. Marketing matters. Your pricing matters. How you present your home matters. The negotiation is different. And your representation matters. So all of these things that like normally matter in a regular real estate market, they matter more now because we're not getting 30 to 40 offers per home. Buyers are, there's fewer buyers who are in the pool now because the interest rates have been picked from. So they're not under the gun. They don't have to make a decision right away on whether or not to buy your house or like no other house. They just have a lot more options and they have more leverage. So as a seller, you need to keep this in mind. And I know your neighbor or your cousin or your brother probably sold their house in 2021, is telling you about like all the money they made and how easy it was and you should just do it. I am here to tell you today that is just not the market right now. It may be coming back. Honestly, I believe in Austin, it's probably going to come back in the next 1 to 2 years. It really is just going to depend on interest rates. So when interest rates dip back down again, we're going to see people coming out of the woodwork, selling their home, and also ready to buy a home in Austin. So here's some of the things that you need to keep in mind, or things that will help you when you are trying to sell your house in Austin, Texas today. One of the biggest factors is pricing. You have got to price your house to be consistent with the market, and this is where a good agent comes into play. Because just reviewing what's currently on the market in Zillow isn't good enough. There's a difference between what the list price is and what the sales price is. And in Texas is a non-disclosure state. So that means we don't disclose sales prices to any government entity, really any entity at all. There's nowhere that you can publicly find sales prices other than the MLS. So agents have access to the MLS. They are able to see what houses are selling for, not what they're listed for. And really, that's what you want to know. Who cares what the house is listed for? I want to know how much money is going into your pocket. So when I'm creating a pricing strategy for my clients, I'm looking at a lot of data for homes that have recently sold, homes that are currently on the market, and homes that are currently under contract in their neighborhood. And I'm analyzing all this data to predict what their specific house is going to sell for. And then we set our list price accordingly, and we put together a strategy if we need to adjust the list price, later on down the road. What you absolutely do not want to do is price your house too high and scare off buyers. I know this is what a lot of people think is the smart thing to do, and the right thing to do is like, well, people are going to come in, they're going to want to negotiate. So I need to set my price, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 higher than what I want to sell it for so that I have that cushion room for negotiating. This is the opposite strategy. It's going to backfire on you. I've seen it happen so many times. So what's going to happen is if people are searching for a house, $600,000 or under, and your house is $650,000, but you'll sell it for $600,000, they're not looking for your house because they're not trying to buy a house that's $650,000. They're trying to buy a house that's $600,000. So you're cutting your house out of searches already. And then people will see your house if you get showings because they think, oh, well, dump. Maybe we'll be able to get a deal. That's the kind of mentality that you're driving, is for people to want to come in and undercut you because they think your house is overpriced, because it is overpriced because you priced it way above the market. So you're not getting people who are going to want to come in and who like really value and appreciate your house. They want to pay you top dollar for it. You're getting people that think like, these people are greedy and they just want money and the house isn't worth it. I mean, they're not going to make an offer because it's not worth it. Most people don't like to negotiate. It's very confrontational for people. It causes a lot of stress, a lot of heartache. If people can avoid negotiating or having hard conversations, they're going to, even when they're going through an agent. It's still stressful. So also, people don't want to offend you. If your house is listed at $650,000 and they want to come in and offer $600,000, they really don't want to be a jerk, and they don't want to offend you and offer you something that's way below what you're expecting. So what's going to happen instead is you're going to get fewer showings, you're going to get fewer offers, your house is going to sit on the market. If you are smart, you will reduce the price pretty early on and continue to reduce it until you start getting showings, until you start getting offers. That's really the only thing that you can do when you've priced your house too high, is just accept it, move on, come up with a new strategy, and really get it priced appropriately. But the very worst thing that you can do is price it too high enough showings of people who actually value the house and want to make us a reasonable offer. And notice that I did not include in my pricing strategy taking into account the amount that you need to get for your house. So if you're like, you know what, I'm buying this other house, or I want to put money in savings, or I want to, do whatever with the money, I need to sell it for $550. I need to sell it for $600. If the market says that your house is worth $500, but you need to sell it for $550, the market doesn't care. It doesn't care how much money you need to put in your pocket. It doesn't care how much money you want. The market is going to do what it's going to do, and all we can do is listen to it. The market speaks and it leaves clues, and we have to listen to it. And it's my job to tell you, this is what the market is telling me. This is how much it's probably going to sell for in this range. So this is what I think our pricing strategy is going to be. The market doesn't care how much money you need. I'm very sorry. You can take that into account and decide, do I even want to sell the house right now? If you're going to lose $50,000 on the house or $100,000 because you bought it during the gold rush of 2021 and now you need to sell it, the market doesn't care how much money you need to make. It's going to do what it's going to do. So that is a conversation that you will have with your agent before you even decide to list the house. Take that back. It's a conversation you should have with your agent before you even decide to list the house. Let's talk about what it's going to sell for and if that is going to work for you. If not, we need to adjust our strategy. So pricing is the number one thing that we need to get right when we're listing the house. The second thing is presentation. So presentation matters. Nowadays, you do have to put a little bit more effort into selling your house than you did in the gold rush of 2021. Now, I am not an advocate for doing full house renovations, big projects to sell it. I don't think that you need to do that. Instead, we just need to price your house accordingly. So you don't need to account for the money that we would put into those projects. Because honestly, there are very few things that you're going to get your money back dollar for dollar when you're doing renovations. And I always tell people, if you're doing them for you and for your personal preference and personal taste because you want to live in a house that looks that way, awesome, do it. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're doing it to increase the value of your house, just be aware that unless you're making drastic improvements, like if we're house flipping or we're doing something like that, you're probably not going to get dollar for dollar back. So instead, let's just reduce the price accordingly. Let's save ourselves the time and the hassle and the stress and the headache of doing those renovations and dealing with contractors. And let's just avoid all of that headache. To be able to make it appealing is a few simple things, just so that people are kind of excited about buying it. So you want to kind of wow people from the moment they get out of the car. That means spruced up landscaping, new flowers, new mulch, trim the bushes, trim the trees, do all those things. Once they get inside, a fresh coat of paint is going to speak volumes. These two things are the highest return on your dollar that you are going to do to sell your house. Other things you can do that don't really cost any money, they are just going to cost you some time, is staging. So making sure you have furniture that's not too big and bulky, that the room flows, that the house flows, everything kind of looks consistent. Decluttering, taking a lot of junk out of your closets and your cabinets and your pantry and doing all those things, really making it look like, oh my gosh, it's so spacious in here. We have all this room in the closet and the pantry. Yeah, that's really important. Cleaning is another really big thing. If I am showing a house, I want to know that it's been well maintained, that it's clean, that the people are clean, they've been taking care of it. So even just cleaning, and you don't even have to do that. Get a house cleaner in there, get someone to come in here and scrub everything down and wipe it down, make it look like, oh, this is just how we live. This house is just naturally clean. I just clean every day. It always looks like this. Also, before showings, pick up little everyday stuff. So pick up, your underwear from the floor. Pick up the napkins that are on the table. Pick up the magazines that you leave everywhere. Just kind of tidy up. Make sure that things look good. And if you can, make the house smell good. If you are selling your house in the summertime, please keep your house cool. Please keep the AC on, even if it's vacant. And I know that might cost you a little bit more money and electric fees, but when buyers and agents are driving around all day, if they can walk into a nice, cool house, they're going to have a really good feeling about the house and they're really going to appreciate it. Honestly, if they're walking into a house, they're hot and sweaty, the house is really hot and sticky, they're going to be in and out. They're going to take a look and be like, okay, I've seen what I need to see, and I'm leaving. So it's in your best interest to make the house a little bit cooler, make it inviting, make people want to stay there. People can tell when you have made an effort and it makes them feel really good about looking at the house and buying the house. They feel like they're getting something more valuable. So make people feel really good about buying your home, not okay, I guess we can get a good deal, or this is kind of like a POS house. Let's make them a lowball offer and let's see if they take it. Those aren't the kind of buyers that you are going to want to attract or negotiate with for your house. So we've talked about pricing and presentation. Let's talk about marketing, because it's not the gold rush of 2021 anymore, and you actually need to do some marketing to sell your house. You can't just put a sign on the yard. You can't just listen to MLS and wait for crowds to show up. You really do have to put some effort into it. So if pricing is one of the most important factors in your house, photos is the second. You have got to get professional photos done by someone who has taken pictures of houses before and knows what shots to take, knows how to do the lighting, knows all of those good things. Most solid agents know this. This is like a standard operating procedure in the repertoire for most solid agents. But I can't tell you how many listings I've seen, and even like $1 million listings, where it's obvious that either the seller or the agent has just walked through the house with their iPhone taking random pictures and they put them up on the MLS. It's just going to be harder to sell that house. Something that's specific about this to Austin is a lot of people are moving to Austin from out of town, out of state, even out of country, and they are scouring the pictures to find the home that they want you to go see for them, that they want their agent to go see, or that they want to go see themselves in person when they come to visit. So having pictures that paint your house in the best light possible is key for these people. Like, I can't tell you, the majority of my business is people who are moving here from out of town, out of state. And they are looking at the pictures to figure out which ones they want me to go and check out for them, and which ones do they want to see in person when they're here for a visit. But they do not have a lot of time. And if a picture looks janky, or if they can't really tell what the house looks like, but they don't think they like it, they're not going to spend their time going to see it. The pictures are the thing that's going to draw people in, so you want to draw them in like immediately. Like, really good pictures are the things that are going to do that. The good pictures are going to be the foundations of all the other marketing that you do. So what else do you do when you are selling the house? What other marketing do you need to do besides putting it in the MLS and putting a sign in the yard? There are so many ways for you to market the house. The point is, pick a few and do them. Like, you have to just go the extra mile and do a few extra things to get eyeballs on the house and to get people in the house. So here are some things that you can do. This is not an all-inclusive list, but it is something to keep in mind and to get you started. So social media ads, including Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, organic social media on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, emails and flyers to agents. Almost every city has a service or someone who is either you can set up an auto email straight from your MLS, or you can pay someone to like do a blast email to other agents in the area. You want to get their eyeballs on it so they can be like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is exactly what my clients are looking for. They'll send that to their clients and they'll go see the house. You can send postcards and letters to the neighbors. So the email blasts are to the agents. The postcards and the letters are to the neighbors. You can do an open house, meet the neighbors in person. You can do a separate one for the neighbors and a separate one for like the general public. You could have a neighborhood event at the house. So my parents are selling their house in Florida, and their agent was going to like bring like an ice cream truck out there and have a big fun event at the house, talk about the house, get people there, just cause a lot of like excitement and fun vibes and all these things to get people in to see the house. And even if it's not people that are going to buy, get them spreading the word. Like, make them your advocates, have them start talking about, like, we went to this amazing ice cream truck. It was at Chris and Julie's house. They're selling their house, by the way. It's gorgeous. You should go take a look at it. We saw it in there. It was amazing. So just to get people talking about the house. And what else can you do? Like, be creative. There are so many ways that you can sell a house in a market other than just like putting it at the MLS and putting a sign on the yard, but you've got to do something. It's not enough to just do those things. You're not going to attract just like hordes of people anymore because it's not the gold rush of 2021. Another thing that you need to know about when you're selling your house in Austin today is negotiations are different. It is just a different market right now. Buyers have more leverage. They have more power. They are not just going to offer you $100,000 over asking and waive all of their, terms and everything under the contract. So here are some of the negotiations that you can expect when you're selling your house in Austin right now. So do not expect 30 to 40 offers to come in, and don't expect any of them to be perfect. Just as a side note, we are starting to see a few more homes get multiple offers in Austin. Right now, I have a client under contract And when they put in their offer, the seller got 5 offers on that house, all above listing price. I have another client under contract who we made an offer $20,000 below the list price. There were no other offers that came in and we got the house. So everything is dependent on the house, on the neighborhood, on the condition of the house. Like real estate is hyper local and it is all going to be case by case to determine how many offers are they going to get, who are you going to be competing against, what are the offers going to be. All these other factors that we talked about are what play into how many offers the house is going to get. So don't expect 30 to 40 offers. Don't expect to just pick the very best one and not have to negotiate. In most cases, you're going to have to do some negotiation. There's going to be some give and take. Your buyers may offer you a lower price, or they may ask for you to give them a credit at closing for them to put towards their closing costs or like buy down their interest rate, which is going to save them money in the long run and may increase their buying power. You can also expect reasonable option periods right now. So the option period is the time that the buyers have to do their inspection, do their due diligence, and back out of the contract if they want to. Expect reasonable option periods like longer than 3 days. It was like 3 to 4 days when we were in the crazy gold rush. It's not that way anymore. You should also anticipate negotiating for the title policy. So again, in the gold rush, it was unheard of to ask a seller to pay for a title policy. You just were not going to get an offer accepted that way. It's not that way anymore. It's totally a 50-50 right now on whether buyers are paying for it or sellers are paying for it. So this is going to add to your closing costs and reduce the amount of cash in your pocket at the end of the day. Just do not expect 100% that the buyer is going to pay for that in every case. Expect to negotiate on that piece. Also keep in mind that your buyer may be selling their house somewhere else, and the person buying their house may be selling their house. So I have a client under contract right now who is he's buying a house in Austin. He's selling his house in California. The buyers for his California house are selling their house in Boston. So this is not just a 2-person transaction. A lot of other people and parties are involved in this deal. And just expect that you are going to have some offers that have contingencies saying, I've got to sell my house first before I buy yours. And if my house falls through, I'm not committed to buying your house. This would have been unheard of in 2021. Like it was. I think I talked to one agent who was like, oh my gosh, I got an offer accepted with a contingency. I can't even believe it. And like we all had a party. That was it. I heard of one. It just was not happening because sellers didn't have to put up with that. They didn't have to deal with that contingency. Times are different now. Everyone is moving around. Buyers have more leverage. So if you see an offer come through with a contingency for the buyer to sell their own house, it's not the end of the world. It's much more common now than it was 2 years ago. And the last thing to expect is you may not be able to stay in the house for like a month after closing and not pay any rent. So this was really common during the gold rush of 2021 was sellers would ask for a lease back, which was like, hey, I'm going to lease the house back from you after we close, but I really don't want to pay anything, which is awesome. Like, I don't want to pay anything either. But basically, sellers were getting leasebacks for free or for very little money because buyers were doing everything that we possibly could to win a contract on a house. It's just not the case anymore. So you may get a week or 2 weeks for free or for a small fee, but a lot of people are kind of on a time crunch. I mentioned they're selling their house, the buyer's moving into their house. Like, there's so many moving parts that you're probably not going to be able to stay in your house for a while. So just keep that in mind. And all of these things are okay. All these things are like what a normal market looks like. We are still not in a balanced market, believe it or not. We are still leaning towards a seller's market, but buyers have more, they have more negotiating, they have more leverage. They are going to ask for more things, and there's going to be some more give and take in a contract now. So the things that you can really do to set yourself up from the beginning are pricing appropriately, putting some effort into it, looking at the presentation of your home, getting quality pictures, actually marketing your house, not just putting on the MLS, and understanding that there is going to be some give and take with negotiations. And of course, with all of these things, it is the agent that you work with who usually can make or break a deal. So if your agent is not a pleasure to work with, if this is the first house that they're selling, if they have just had very few transactions or deals altogether, they're not really going to know how to communicate, how to negotiate, how to hold things together. So when you are trying to figure out who do you want to sell your house, just talk to an agent. Do you vibe with them? Do you like how they communicate? Do you like how they present? Ask them what their plan is for selling your house. At the end of the day, you've got to feel comfortable with them. That's the most important thing. But you need to know that the agent matters. the agent can make or break the deal. So pick who you feel the most comfortable with. And I do want to say this. A lot of people say that a negotiation is when both parties are happy. That's a solid quality negotiation. I wholeheartedly disagree. In my experience, a good negotiation is when both parties are mad. Both parties feel like they gave up way too much and the other party got way too much and they didn't get anything. That's usually when we have an equitable negotiation, is when both parties feel like they gave up a little too much. So what I want you to take away from this video is times are changing. The market is different. Get those things in place. Get yourself a good agent. If you need help with any of this, my contact info is below. Feel free to email, text, DM, however you want to get in touch with me. I've got your back when you're moving here or when you are selling your home in Austin. I'll talk to you soon.